Hi everyone. Well, it's been a while since I made a dessert, and so I thought I'd make something special today. So I'm making a cheesecake, and cheesecake is a serious business. So I thought, what, I'm spending so much time and effort, so I might as well just share the whole video. So these are the things that you need for a cheesecake. For the base, you need biscuits which are ground. This is I used whole wheat biscuits because they are crunchier and they have a better base. They add a nice crunch to the cheesecake. Next, for the fillings, that is a cheesecake material, what we need is, I have used 280 grams boxes of cheese. This is Britannia cream cheese, and I think I found it nice. So I'm using it. You can use the President cream cheese, which is much expensive. It's like twice the price, but it's not adding much of a value. So I'm using this one. So I'm using 280 grams, that's 360 grams of cream cheese. And then I have to add some sour cream to it to add the tanginess to the cream cheese or to the cheesecake. And this is about 100 grams of cream cheese, sour cream for 360 grams of cream cheese. And I'm using half a cup of flour to just bind everything together. 2 eggs. I'm going to use about 1 cup of sugar and about 100 grams of butter. Okay, so let's get started. So first thing I'll do is, I have the whipping option set in my food processor, and I'm going to start by adding the cream cheese. So one thing which is important is that the cream cheese needs to be on the room temperature. Okay, so because otherwise it will not mix well with the other ingredients. And same with the sour cream and same with the butter. It smells lovely. Okay, I'm done with the cream cheese. Now I'll add some sour cream. This is 200 grams box, so I'm just going to add about half of it, 100 grams. Okay. Now I'll add some butter. I'm using the same spoon, it doesn't matter, I'm going to use all of it today anyways. I'm going to add about 50 grams of butter. 2 eggs. And this is flour just to bring everything together and when we bake it. And I'm going to add a little bit of an essence. Now the best thing to use is vanilla essence, but I'm out of vanilla essence today, so I'm just going to use some pineapple essence on it. But vanilla essence is much better. Okay. Okay, forgot to add a little sugar. I'm just going to add half the cup sugar because I'll require the rest of it for the biscuit base. Okay. Okay, so now I'm done mixing with my cheese filling. Now I have to start making the base, and for the base I'm going to basically bind the biscuit with a little bit of butter, heated butter, and I'm going to add a little sugar to it so that it's a little more sugary and it's a little more, sits well with the whole tangy cream cheese thingy. Alright, so I'm going to start with you don't want to heat the pan too much because the butter burns very fast. And so I'm going to add all of the butter to it. Wait for butter to melt a little bit. Now that the butter is a little melted, I'm going to add my biscuits to it. By the way, this is like somewhere around 100 grams of biscuit, okay? And we need to add the sugar to it. Okay, one thing I forgot to mention is that I had actually ground my sugar beforehand because these are big grains of sugar and they don't really mix very well with either the cheese or the biscuits, and they leave sugar pockets which are very non-appetizing, okay? I'm going to add some of it. Some of the sugar I'm going to save for the icing, you know, it just looks really nice with a little frosting of sugar on the top of the cheesecake. It looks very yummy. Now you can increase the temperature a little bit because the butter is already melted. Now my biscuit mix is ready and I'm just going to layer it over my vessel. Okay, something important about the vessels. Normally there are two kinds of vessels. One is the open bottom vessel, which is like, you know, it comes right, the bottom comes right off. And the other one is like the regular cake vessel. I see for cheesecake it's important to use something like this. The reason being that, you know, you want, when you open the cheesecake needs to be standing on its own, otherwise it's very difficult to scoop it out, okay? But unfortunately this, the one that I have, is too big for a cheesecake for two, so I'll have to use the small one, okay? And it will be a challenge to scoop out the cheesecake, but well, I have no other option. So I'm just going to layer the bottom of this vessel with the biscuit mixture that I just prepared. And you need to make sure that it's really well settled on the bottom, okay? And it has to be very well layered. It should look like, you know, wet sand mixture when it's done. And you have to be very sure that it's well settled. The reason being, when you're trying to take it out, you want it to come out like a unit rather than, you know, just break all over. That's the reason why I use a lot of biscuit, because, you know, it needs to stick together. Okay. Okay, so it's done. Now we'll take the mix that we prepared and we are going to put it on the top of the biscuit base. Okay, one thing you need to remember, that when you're making a cheesecake, it will almost always have cracks on the top. You know, it's very difficult to get a cheesecake without the cracks. You can always go ahead and bake it over a water bath or whatever to make sure that you know, it doesn't have cracks. But I don't think it's worth the effort, honestly. I mean, you know, because if you are going to cover it on the top with a layer of jelly and strawberries, like the typical New York style cheesecake, so it doesn't really matter if it has the cracks. Okay, so this will go into 250-degree oven for about 45 minutes. And when it's done, you'll start seeing brown on the top because it's cheese, you know, it burns a little bit, and it's actually even more tastier, that brown part, the caramelized part, okay? So I'm going to leave it on 250-degree oven for 45 minutes. One thing you need to make sure is that the oven vessel is very well greased, because cheesecake is very difficult to get it out, okay? So we'll wait for 45 minutes. Okay, so this is what the cake looks like after, actually I told you 45 minutes, but it was done in 30 minutes in the oven, 250 degrees. And I left it for 2 hours to cool, and you see when it cools down, it automatically detaches itself from the sides. So now this is nice and caramelized and completely cooked. Now you can see a little cracks. It's very difficult to get a cheesecake without cracks, because, you know, it's a very volatile substance. Now I'm going to just cover the cracks and also decorate and flavor it with, this is raspberry jelly. It's a classic way of decorating the cheesecakes. using a lot of berries. So I'm using raspberry jellies, and after that I'll be adding little strawberries, which is chopped in nice julienne cuts on the top for decoration. So let me just show you how. By the way, taking it out of this bowl is still going to be a big problem. I'll try to show you how it looks as a single slice. So I'll just decorate it. This is going to take a while. Hi, so this is the final product. This is what it looks like after decoration and everything. And I'm going to show you a single slice of it. It's going to take me some time to take it out, but this is it. Thank you. Okay, so this is what a slice of cheesecake looks like, and what you need to do is just a little bit of icing sugar on the top to, decorate it, and then we're good. Okay.